So first, I want to do a sound check. If you can hear me, please raise your hand or leave us a note in the chat pod. I want to make sure everyone can hear okay. And then if you are not a county recorder or deputy recorder or county staff member, could you raise your hand? I'm so excited that all of you from the counties have joined, because I think it's important for you to see the other side of the formula as we're working with this. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I am logged in as a submitter into our staging environment, and I'm going to demonstrate how to do a submission and how it works. And I'll submit documents. I'll walk you through the interface here. I will show you how to resubmit declined document and fee changes. And I'm going to remind you that if you have questions, you want me to demonstrate something specifically, please, 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 please raise your hand. Okay, thanks everybody. Say for telling me you could hear me. So let's get started. Home screen, if you're a recorder, this looks a lot like your home screen. If you're a submitter, this is your home screen. Right now we have a welcome modal over here. In time, it will become more interactive to allow us to post ongoing messages to you. As an example, if we were going to do maintenance, we would be able to put information there. That's still in development, but we've got the date here, how you can get a hold of us by calling us, emailing us, or completing a support request form. If we are here and not in the middle of something like another phone call or a meeting, we answer the phone. So you can always count on getting good customer service from us. Clicking home, it's always going to bring you back to the home screen right here and all of your pending groups. If you're a user, you can click here to update your password. Be mindful of the password requirements. I'm not going to change mine today because I like what I have. So, but you can always change that here and be mindful of the requirements, uppercase, lowercase, special characters, which are specified here, and then at least 14 characters. I like to use a city, a zip code, and special characters if you're ever like, oh my gosh, what am I going to use? So as an example, we are in Johnston, so Johnston 50131, a special character. Sometimes I use an address of where I used to live. Okay. Also on this screen, if you are a submitter, so I'm going to go back to home so I can show you this. Click change password. And then right here, click this. By default, use party name information from the first document for all subsequent documents in a group. That means when you're submitting a group of documents, maybe a deed, a declaration of value, a mortgage, a power of attorney, whatever, you enter the party name once, and then on the remaining documents in the group, it will populate for you. You can always edit it, but this is a really nice way to save time. So we like that. And then click submit and you'll be good to go. Going back to the home screen, we have the eSearch. This is where you can search for documents that you electronically recorded or someone in your office electronically recorded. It's not anybody's electronically recorded documents. It's yours and your team. Recently recorded, if you select that, it should bring up the most recent 500 documents. That blue bar you saw is an indication that it's working. Here's the 500 documents. And you've got all kinds of information here. The submission number, the submission date and time, the county, the group name, the document type, and if you scroll across a little bit, the current status of county index paid, that it was recorded, and county indexed for those two document types, declaration of value and groundwater, that are recorded without any fees. And you can sort these by clicking on the little arrows at the top here. This puts the document type in alphabetical order. You can do reverse order too if you like, if you wanted all the deeds up there. And you can also search. So if I type in deed, then I get warranty deed, quitclaim deed. And I think if I go to the end, I'll get the deeds. And we also got anything that had deed in the group name. So that's a really good way to find something if you're kind of in a hurry. Then we have search by group name and submission number. So if I search by webinar, because that's a group name I use when I do webinars, it will pull all of those up. So I can take a look at those. And then you can search by submission number or by county. I won't search by submission number. Well, I guess I can. I'll search for this one right here. Just copy that and paste it in there. If you happen to know it, you can use that. And it didn't find it. It's probably my bad. Let's see if this works with partial number. Didn't work. Okay. Oh, because I have group name clicked. And search. And there it is. There's that document. Looks like this one's still in progress, so we need to clean that one up. And then search by county. So if I wanted to search for anything I've submitted to Polk County, and we'll go from April 1st forward. And there's all 163 documents with the group names. So you can sort this if you want to. We've been doing some testing with one of our service providers in Polk County, and we have a very strict protocol, so we make sure we don't miss anything. So that's what eSearch looks like. Next is ILR search. We'll come back to this in production. This is the new Iowa Land Records search portal. So we're going to come back to that and we'll move to production. We don't have a lot of test data for search in our staging environment. And I kicked myself out, so I'm going to log back in. And I'm back. Then we have admin. So let's talk about all the information we have here. We have submitter information. So you'd have to be an administrator on the account. That's one of the roles that we have as an administrator. You have access to the information about your account if you need to make edits or updates. Also the same for payment information, and you have access. So that's all here. And when you select edit, the fields that are available to you do display, so you can change things if you want to. So we'll make this correct. Windsor Parkway, and then save. This account number is our internal account number. It is not anything related to a bank account. So you wouldn't be able to edit that, and you wouldn't be able to edit your organization name. And then we're going to save that. You can, of course, edit phone numbers and email addresses. Also, you've got, you can update the account. This is back to what yours is like, where you can also change your password. So same field, just in another place. We've got submitter payment information here. So for payment, we allow a couple different ways for payment, either ACH or credit card. If you use a credit card and you record 10 documents today, you will see 10 entries on your credit card statement. If you use a bank account and you record 10 documents today, you'll see 1 entry on your bank account, because we batch those together at the end of the day and go out and basically ask your financial institution for the money. So 10 documents, $527. You'll see one $527, and then you can generate a report so you can reconcile this. So payment information, same thing. You can select edit. I'm going to scroll down before I do that. And now I'm going to select edit. Okay, so what I don't want you to be alarmed about is that when I scroll down here, there's no information here in the bank account or credit card, or it would be a credit card. That's because after you select save, it disappears and it's saved in the background for future use. So don't be alarmed that it's not there. If you need to update it or change payment type, you're maybe using a credit card and you want to switch to a bank account, absolutely fine with us. All you're going to do is come in here and go to admin and submitter payment information and then make that change. One caution I will add is if you need to change this email address, the administrator email address, when you do that, please make sure that you enter the bank account or credit card information again. So that's if you're an admin on the account, you would have access to updating all of the account informations. You can also update users. So you would come to admin and then users. You've got your whole list of users here. So this is a test account for our office, and you'll see that many of us have multiple usernames and passwords, and some have been deactivated. You can use this. So if I wanted to find just the ones that had my name on it, there we go. Looks like Nancy has taken over one of my usernames. She is one of our developers. So I can see the status. So I've got that I am an admin. I have search enabled. What my username is, this is the one that I'm logged in with currently, my name, and that my status is active, okay? But I can also see these for other people or other users. I've got this one, also an admin with search enabled. And clearly I was searching hard for a username. So I have Lisa Long with my whole name, and it's pending. I can edit users here by just clicking the boxes. So this is where I see that by default, the same party name is selected. And if I wanted to update a password, so somebody in your office gets locked out, you can, as the admin, you can easily update them. And so maybe a little bit of a nonsensical password today. So you can easily do that. If you add a new user, their status will be pending. And all you need to do is have them log in and update their password. So you can also delete people. So if this person here no longer worked for your team, you can click the X here to delete them. If you were told that Bob couldn't log in, all you would need to do is come in here and click. You see that Bob is deactivated. You can click this right here to reactivate Bob and then have him log in and update his password. And you'll see that Bob is now in pending status. So log in, update the password, you'll be good to go. If you need to add users, you're going to click add, assign a username, choose a role, submitter admin, submitter user, submitter accounting, or search, and then determine if you need to enable search for them, if there's somebody on your team that will be searching. Use first, last name, email, phone number. I'm a big fan of this same party name. And then assign a temporary password, provide all of that information to the new user, and then have them log in and update their password, and the status will update to pending. After you set up a new user, their status, their temporary password is good for about 24 hours. So 3 different types of users on eSubmission: the admin that I just described, all the permissions that they have, as well as they can submit documents, and they are allowed to edit the documents of anyone else on the team. You may have as many admins on your team as you like. So if you want everybody to be an admin so they can all do all of these things, that is absolutely your decision. The next user is a submitter. They can submit documents. You may also enable search for them so that they can search for documents in the ILR search like we talked about, but they won't be able to edit anyone else's documents. And then the third role is the accounting user. So they have access to update the payment information, update the account information, and generate reports for reconciliation. And that is right here under reports. And then one more role that is available is search only. So you've got people on your team that want to search, but you don't want them to have the ability to record documents. You can set them up as a search user only. And those roles may be edited at any time. Okay. Anyone have questions about the admin? I can absolutely come back and show you anything. Then we've got support, how to get a hold of us, and a transfer tax calculator, some resources on from our landing page right here. So all kinds of good information there. We do have a recorded webinar out there as well, and we're recording this one. Okay, back to the beginning in the main show here, how to submit documents. So you have a package of documents, a pile of documents, whatever, that you want to get over to the county recorder for recording. Think of it as if you were going to address an envelope to the recorder. So you're going to send something to Selena, who's participating today. She's the Clark County Recorder. So you're going to address that envelope to her, that manila envelope, put some postage on it, probably include a check and a note that says, hey, please record these documents for our client, the Smiths, okay? Or you could do it this way. So you would click New Submission. You are now saying, okay, this is my address. I want it to go to Clark County. And I'm going to name this Smith because those are my clients. And today's date. And we'll just do documents. You can use anything you like, anything that will help you find it later, and save. So now you've got the envelope addressed. Now we're going to start adding things to it, okay? First will be a deed. So you select the document types, deed or warranty deed, whichever one makes you happy. One for the number of auditor transfer. If you need help calculating that, let us know. But it's usually one fee per lot or block or section. And I'm counting on recorders that are on this call to tell me if that's incorrect. Then the real estate value that you want to pay transfer tax on. So $78,500. And then look for the image that you have saved. You're always going to scan documents in black and white, portrait orientation, and 300 DPI. The exception to that rule is if you're submitting a survey. You may submit that in landscape orientation, but otherwise documents should be scanned in portrait orientation. As soon as I selected save there, it's looking for a party name. And so my friend's the Smiths and her name is Mary, and I'm going to use her middle name of Jane, and then save. And so as soon as I did that, it told me what the fees are for this document. So $7 because it was a one-page image that was attached, $5 for the auditor fee that's right here, and then the transfer tax is calculated from this value that was entered here. If I edit this and I make this 80,000, this will automatically update, okay? Then I've got a couple warnings down here that this group requires a declaration of value and a groundwater hazard statement. And so those are the next two document types I'll add. So adding a document, selecting the deck of value. These are in alphabetical order. And then finding the image. I'm using test documents, so don't hate on me if I grab an old one. And then save. And there's no recording fees or e-submission fees for a declaration of value. Still telling me I need that groundwater. You may be familiar with a new law that's, it's relatively new, it's not brand new, that says if there's no positive conditions on a groundwater, it doesn't need to be submitted, but you do have to have the statement as required by law on your image. So if we're going to do that, we're going to say, okay, I don't have that. We're going to edit the deed right here and select the exemption box. You'd be doing something very similar here if you were submitting a deed in fulfillment of a contract, because the DECA value in the groundwater would have been filed at the time of the contract. So now you're submitting the deed, you're actually transferring the property from A to B, and you're paying the tax. So you would click both of these because you already recorded those when you recorded the contract. And then save. Fees are updated, and it tells me that I can submit if I want to. I'm going to add another document to this group, a power of attorney, and I'm going to browse for it and save. And so you'll notice that the party names have been populating, which I love. We're going to take this out of here. We're going to enter John's name in there and select save. So you can always edit that. I can delete this party if I want to, but if I do, the system tells me that I have to add one. And there's only the opportunity for you to enter one party. The counties will index all of the names on the document. And so now I can review the group. I have the deed, the declaration of value, and the power of attorney. And I want this power of attorney to go in front of the deed, so it's an easy drag and drop to get it where you want to use it. If it's been a couple years since we used the old e-submission, but if you've been around a while, do you remember that you had to use the arrows to get those documents in the right order? This is so much nicer and faster, and we really love it. Okay, this point, I can add another document here if I want to. So I'm going to add the mortgage and find that image. So I've scanned these black and white, portrait orientation, and 300 DPI, and save. So there's the fees calculated on the mortgage and the total with the $3 e-submission fee, and you've got the total fees for the group right here. So you can easily compare those to your closing statement if that's something you're doing, to make sure that you've got the right fees. If there's ever a doubt about fees and you need some help recording or calculating, you can call our office. You can certainly call the county, because we know they'd be happy to help you. Okay. At this point, what can we do? We can change the county. So instead of submitting it to Clark, we're going to submit it to Clayton. So you can make that change. It changes all the documents in the group. You can rearrange if you want the mortgage way up here at the top. You can make that happen. I'm always encouraging you to submit these documents in the order that you want them recorded. Also, if you have a group of documents like this, that a deed and a mortgage, I'm encouraging you to submit them in the same group. Don't submit the mortgage in a separate group of documents at the same time as the deed, in case the deed and the declaration are declined, and then the mortgage gets recorded on property that your customer doesn't own. So always submit those together. Documents in a group all have to go to the same county, but they don't all have to be related. So example, you work at a bank and you're doing an assignment. Your bank bought another bank, so you're assigning all those loans, and you've got 15 for Clark County and 15 for Clayton. You could create groups for Clark and groups for Clayton. We would tell you, just as a matter of courtesy, to keep it to about 10 documents per group. 1 or 2 more, no big deal. Or if they all need to be recorded in the correct order, then that's okay. But otherwise, about 10 documents in one group works really, really well. So everything looks good. My last step is always submit group. I know that this is the group I'm working on because I've got a lock right here. So I know this is the one. And if Kristen or somebody else on our team were to log in right now, a message would display that says, hey, somebody else is working on this. It would still allow her to access the group, but there would be something that acknowledged that she said, yes, it was hers. So I'm going to go ahead and submit that group. And the only change you're going to see is there'll be a message up here telling you it was submitted successfully, but you will not receive an email telling you it was submitted. So I'm going to submit group. And there's that message right there. Okay, I'm going to submit a couple more groups. Anyone have any special requests? Okay, so let's do a quitclaim deed. So that's way down here. And a real estate value. You always have to enter something here. So often on quitclaim deed, there's no value. There's no transfer tax. So you must enter a value. I enter $1 or $10. Select the exemptions boxes because you don't have it. So maybe it's something where it's under $500. Browse for the image and select save. And enter an organization. So save. So you've got one document with an organization as the grantor, the United Bank of Ames. You can edit that and we'll make it be North Ames. And save that. So you can see it all there. You can delete the party name if you want to, but the system will tell you that you need a name and it won't allow you to submit it until you add a name. We can add another document. Other, just sort of this could be sort of your melting pot. If you're not 100% sure what to select, I'd say select other, knowing that the counties can change that if they need to, if they've got the perfect document type if you're not sure. So browse for the image and select save. And then you've got the standard fee. So this document was 5 pages. $7 for the first page, $5 for each additional page. It's calculated on the number of pages in the image that was attached, and then a $3 e-submission fee. If I change this to deed and then I select the exemption boxes, I've got the number of auditor transfer fees automatically. If I select save, it tells me the real estate value is invalid. So we'll make it bigger because that's always fun. So 7.5 million. Still, you can change the county. You know this is the group that you're working on because it's got the lock on it. If you decide you're not going to submit this group at all, right here, you can get rid of it. And it always asks you if you want to get rid of it because once it's gone, it's gone. Okay. And there you go. It takes a couple seconds to catch up. If the group is bigger, it might take a little bit longer. So just give it a second. As soon as it's gone, it will disappear from your pending groups list. As I said, we've been doing a lot of testing. So we've got a lot of groups out here. But normally, I would say to you as a submitter, just like for the recorders, these groups that are in this pending group section, those are your to-do list. So as a recorder, you're seeing groups that are in there that are in ready for recorder. They're ready for your review. So once I've hit submit as the submitter, I hit select submit group, it goes off into the interwebs, and the counties receive notification that's out there for their review. They have 24 hours or 1 full business day to review documents, but most of them are much sooner. They're doing them as they come in throughout the day, getting them recorded, and then if there's a problem, declining it or fee changing it so it comes back to you. Okay, so next steps. At this point, the county has it out there for their review. They would go through each document, look at it. Okay, is this the right image? Yes. Are these the parties correct? Is the legal correct? Is this actually our county? Are the fees correct? Is everything spelled correctly? Is all the notary there? You know, they're checking everything and making sure it's right and getting it back to you. They might even say, hey, it looks like maybe Lisa is spelled 2 different ways on this document. Do you want to record it that way today? So there's always some good decline reasons. And then it's your chance to communicate back to them. So over here in my to-do list, I have a couple of groups of documents that I created so we could talk about fee changes and declines. So let's do fee changes first. You submit documents for recording. The recorder reviews them and says, hey, we don't have the right amount of money. Okay, so we're going to send that back to you so you can agree to those changes. Somewhere down the road, we would like to develop something that allows you as the submitter to say, hey, if it's within $10 or a certain amount to be determined, to go ahead and record it. But we're not there yet. That's way down the road. So you would receive an email as the submitter saying, hey, there's a fee change on your group. You would log in. You're going to find the group right here in your to-do list. It probably won't be this long of a list. You're going to click on the group name. And you see this note, the fee amount has been changed. To complete the recording process, select accept the fee change for each submission that's in fee change status. For more information, select the submission number to review the history and submission form, and then contact the county recorder for additional information. So this one has been approved, but not recorded. But because they were submitted in a group, they all came back to you in a group. So this one is in fee change. Must select the submission number, just like the note says, because I want to see more information. And down here, I see that the fees went from $10 to $15. So one more auditor transfer fee was added. And here's what I know on this one. I submitted this as an affidavit of non-transfer, and then I changed it to an affidavit of transfer so that you would get the number, you would get the auditor transfer fee. It seems like every webinar we do, I talk about the difference between an affidavit of transfer and an affidavit of non-transfer. Affidavit of transfer conveys property, literally transfers property from A to B. We often see it with an affidavit of surviving spouse. A and B owned it. One of them is deceased. It is being transferred to the surviving spouse. That's one. Affidavit of non-transfer is a statement of fact. Example, I live in a townhouse. If I were to sell my home before the closing can take place, my association management company has to say that my dues are current. That's an affidavit of non-transfer. Trying to think what else there could be. Oh, a trustee's affidavit that says, as a trustee of this trust, I am authorized to do whatever I'm doing. So that's another example. It doesn't convey property. Okay, so we've got this one in fee change status. If you agree with it, click the accept fee change. The status goes to resubmission. You know this is the group you're working on because of the lock. It's still in recorder fee change status because you haven't accepted all of them. So again, your options are A, to click on the submission number and come down here to see what happened. It went from $15 to $12.27. I added some real estate value in here to kick the tax up. But if I'm happy with that, I'm going to select this. And then on
Lisa,
this, yes.
you did get a couple of questions in the chat pod. You may have just kind of touched on this last question. Do submitters get a notice when fees have changed? And then there's a few other questions before that.
Yeah, I don't see the chat pod, unfortunately. Okay. Okay, now I see it. Thanks. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and finish this one and then I'll come back. And then if you don't want to look at this one, you can click this box and it goes to resubmission. Last step is always submit group. There. Okay, fee changes. Okay, so Jane, you're only counting blocks or sections, not the lots. Brandy, we count additions and subdivisions for town and sections for rules. Could you send one with a message to the recorder? I can absolutely do that. Does the 24-hour limit include plats or survey approval? It could. I would say yes, it should. How about that? I know that sometimes that takes longer, but I think our general rule is that when something like a plat or a subdivision is submitted, that the person submitting it should have all of those approvals before it is submitted. That's the conversation we've had with the surveyors group. So Mavis, does that help? Jane, yes, they receive an email notification when fees have changed or if there is a decline. So on this one right here, so this is my declined one. Down here, they would see this, the legal description, the legal is not for Adair, please advise. That's what would be in the decline one. And it would include the group name, the comments, the phone number, the email, and the name of the person at the county so they can directly communicate with you. Because Jane, if one of your deputies did it, maybe you don't know what's going on. So you can say, okay, who's in that email? So you can take a look at it. Okay. Is it everybody let me know if that makes sense. Okay. Christy, if under deed type transaction, under the submission form, if they check transfer tax exempt, there would not be real estate value to put in. The submitter can check that and enter a value, but the tax would not calculate. We can go back and do one of those. You guys have good questions. I'm glad you're here. So I think that is all the fee changes, but we can certainly do some more. So let's look at the declines. So click on the decline group name. You've got that notification that it's out there. You've got 3 documents that are declined. Click on the submission number here. Determine what's wrong by scrolling down to history or reading what's in the email that you received. The legal description is not for Adair. Oops, I made a mistake. I don't want to submit this one to Adair. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take it out of this group. And I'm going to remember that I need to submit it to Adams. Okay. So we're going to delete that one. We're going to look at this one. And the document format, it's not scanned well. So all you have to do is go to edit and browse. Find the new image. Remember, test documents. Don't hate me. And save. And if the fees are different, it's because I've used a document with different number of pages in it. And then save. Now that status is resubmission. And then one more. And this one, the signatures are missing. As a submitter, you're going to go back and fix that. Get all the signatures that you need. Scan it again, save it again, come in here and put the new one in, save it. The fees change because you've got a new document. Everything looks good. Everything's in resubmission. You can submit at this point. You could delete the group if you wanted to. You could delete these documents, change the county, or add a document. So for Christy, I'm going to do a deed, transfer tax exemption. We're going to do all the exemptions. Browse and save. And it will let me select and submit it. Get ready to submit it without any value there. But if I do this and I put 75,000 with the exemption checked, it doesn't calculate the tax. Is that what you wanted to see, Christy? And then if I undo the exemption and save, the tax calculates over here. Okay. So now we've got 2 in resubmission, 1 in progress. In progress as general indicates it has not been submitted. What it doesn't mean is that it's waiting for the recorder. Okay. You still own it because as a submitter, because it's still on your home screen. And last step, submit group. And there's the message that it was submitted successfully. So one more with the decline. So you've got 4 documents, 3 of them are declined, 1 of them is approved. Even though this one is approved, it is not recorded. It's approved only, okay? So options here. So it's really important that this document that's doc type other gets approved or gets recorded. You could delete the other 3 and submit this one and get that one recorded much sooner, okay? Or you can fix all of these. And so you're going to click the submission number. You're going to look at the email that you received telling you what's wrong. Please scan it in black and white. I will tell you that we have a little bit of tolerance for color. So if your whole document is black and white and the signature is color, it should be okay. So here, all we're doing is finding the new image and saving. You'll see the status here, updates to resubmission. This is the group I'm working on. Submit group is not live because you still got a 2 documents in decline status. Click the submission number, look at the problem down here in history. Wrong county should be Adams. And so we're going to delete that one. Keeping mental notes, got to submit that one to Adams. And we've got this one, the notary signature is missing, get that corrected. Find the new image. Select save. Last step is always submit group. You still have the option to delete the group, change the county, or add documents if you want to. You can see the total group fees here of $65. And submit. Questions? I'm so glad you guys are all here today. Are you ready for me to switch over to search for a little bit? Let's look at eSearch real quick one more time. So we're going to look at eSearch. And while that pulls up, I want to caution you, if you ever submit something in error as a submitter, what you will want to do is call the county. Don't call our office. Call the county. Don't email our support email address. Call the county. Ask them to decline the document. If it's close to the end of the day and you call the county and no one answers, call our office and we will do everything we can to help you connect with them by sending emails or messages of any kind. But if something is recorded in error, it is up to the county to determine if they want to remove it from record. That is not a decision at Iowa Land Records that we can make. Those records belong to the county. Okay, so we're going to do search by county here, and I'm going to search Adair and Adams and today's date for the submission number. I don't remember who else I submitted to. So here's some of the groups that I submitted. Webinar, fee change. So there's some of them. I'm sure there were more, but I don't remember the other counties. So, but you can see all of them that have been submitted. And again, these are some of our test documents. A message to the recorder. Yes, Jane, thank you for reminding me. So home, new submission. An assignment. Browse. Save. Before I select save, my cautionary tale of the day is don't use the number of additional transactions field. It is not the number of additional documents in a group. Okay, so if you've got 10 documents, don't put 9 on the second one, 8 on the third one, etc. Don't use the additional transactions field to indicate the additional number of documents in a group, because what it does, I'm going to select save here. So we've got these little fees all wrapped up here for $10, right? If I enter a number here, so 2, it charges me $7 for each additional transaction. Okay, so I would tell you in general, don't use it. A time that you would use it, you've got a first and a second mortgage on a house. Your customer comes to the bank and does a refi and pays and rolls those into one. So now you're releasing the first and the second. That's where you would use one additional transaction here on the release, because you are releasing 2 documents. Okay. So then it will look something like this with 1. In general, I would tell you not to use it, or ask the county to help you count those if you're going to need some, but you can unfortunately be overcharged if you submit it that way. We're all human, and so if it gets missed, it is very hard to have those fees reduced or returned. And again, that's always up to the county if they want to refund those to you. Okay, so Jane asked if I could put a message down here, and I said yes, I would. So you've got, hello, Jane. Hope you are well. Please count my additional transactions. Thanks. So it would look something like that, Jane. And then you would see that as you went into approve and then save. And you've got it right down here. You can always edit that if as a submitter, you can delete it if you want to. And then save. So you're saying you can't see it, Jane. Do you scroll down? Let's take, if the next time somebody says that to you, let me know and we'll take a look. Okay. Other e-submission questions before we flip over to production and search real quick? I'm so thankful that all of you joined this afternoon. Have you learned a lot? Please say yes. Okay. I am going to log in to production and do a quick search tutorial. And I have to wait for my token to pop up. So that will take just a second. Did you guys know we have about 23 million documents available on the Iowa Land Records search site? And they're out there for everybody's viewing pleasure. And then we can talk about different kinds of accounts that we have. I know, right, Jane? 23 million. We can talk about the different kinds of accounts that we have. So if you're getting ready to search or submit documents for recording, so I'm all logged in. This is helpful, I think, as a submitter or a user, but also as a recorder, because you can help your business partners. So individual users, you know, you're going to look at a couple things. You want to find out what's going on with your neighbor's house. you want to find out when you paid off your mortgage, whatever. Then you're an individual user. You may look at as many indexes as you like, complete as many searches as you like, but you're only going to have access to view 10 images per day. As a business user, so you're a banker, you're an attorney, you work in a law office, whatever, and you have a business account, you may have as many users on that account as you like in whatever role that you like. So admin, submitter, accounting, searcher, and any of those submitter roles can have search enabled. Those users, each user, not per account, can view up to 120 images per day. And if either of those type of users, individual or business, is working on a project, as an example, we're working with the DOT right now. They have a big project that they're in the middle of, and 120 images isn't enough for them per day. We have a process so you can bump that. Okay, but the 120 and the 10, those came out of our focus group discussions that we were having within the last 18 months with users about what would be the best for them. So we put a lot of thought into it, and it's out there. So I'm logged in as a system admin, so it looks a little bit different from your screen, but up here, if you were a user, you would see eSearch or then ILR search. So this is, in effect, I'm going into your ILR search by selecting public search and then determining how I want to search. So if I wanted to do a name search, I'm going to search by person's name. Phil Dunshee is our project manager. Phil has done several search webinars. I think we have one that is recorded, and we can certainly distribute that to you. And so Phil used his name, so I have no shame in using his. So Phil lives in Polk County, and we're going to do it from January of 2000 forward. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I did Dunshee and then Phil, Polk County, and these dates. I'm going to select search, and then I'm going to show you some of the intricacies of using this. Okay, so the way I did it, I've got Dunshee and Phil, 14 results, right? I can, I made this display 100. I can change this so it's recorded date and then ascending. So I've got the oldest at the top. So this is from 2001, okay? So I don't think this is all the results. So we're going to refine the search. We're going to put Phil and then an asterisk as a wild card. So this is going to get us anything that is Dunshee, and then the first name starts with P-H-I-L, because sometimes he knows that they spell his name with one L or two L's in Philip. So with that asterisk, look, 21 results. Okay, it's an exact name match in search. So that's where the wild card comes in. If we were to do a name search by organization, okay, we're going to see if this one works. I'm thinking off the top of my head here. So there's an organization in Des Moines known as Many Hands for Haiti. And no results. Let's do a refine and add the asterisk, and it still might return nothing. We'll find out. Still nothing. Okay, refining the search. We're doing Meals from the Heartland now. If anybody's familiar with Meals from the Heartland and what they do, I know they own real estate. So, but doesn't look like we got anybody. Oh, there it is, Meals from the Heartland, right there. So we're going to refine the search, and you'll see that I put the asterisk under organization, and there it all is. So then I can see, okay, this is how they indexed it, Meals from the Heartland, right there. Okay. Another trick. You are trying to find a document in Polk County, and you've got a document number. You think you've got the recording date, but no matter what you do, you can't find it. Okay. Here's what I would do. I would do a county search. I would enter the county. and I would do a narrow date range, maybe like current week, okay? Or something within that time frame where they're at. So you can determine if they use a reference number or a bookend page so that there's not a big problem. You can see over here, you've got lot 17. You're seeing more of the information here displayed for the platted or unplatted. And this is only for this week. So let's flip this around. Okay, you can see some different icons now here. So we've got grantors and grantees up here, how all the index information. If I hover here, that's the index data. If I open that up, I can see all of the information, who the grantor was, that it was an organization, the grantee is the bank. Associated documents are right there. County location, subdivision, all kinds of information. Okay, so if we go back here, so I did that to look at the index. Here, I'll look at the image. That's the PDF. Okay, so you can look at the image if we wanted to. Here, if I do this, I'm going to report that there's a problem. I found a social security number. I found that Phil's name is spelled incorrectly. That's where you can report that to us. And so you can put that information to us. And then down here, these two icons that look like two pieces of paper, those are the associated documents. So you know what you know that there's associations here, and you can click here to look at the indexes of the association, and here to look at the PDF of the association. And I'm going to go back, and I'm going to make this to 100. And I'm going to refine my search, Polk to current day. So here's what you see. You see the index, and this says the PDF is not available. It's because it's been transferred to Iowa Land Records. It's not back from redaction. So sometime tomorrow it will be ready for a redaction. Here you've got the index that the PDF is not yet available, and then the image or the associated documents. Lots of tips and tricks. Looks like Kristen has shared the playlist of search tutorials that we have. We will get that out to everybody again soon, because it really is it's a lot of good information. If you, the people you work with, your business partners, experience problems finding things, please ask them to call our office. Let us help them. It's a great system. It returns results really fast. There's a learning curve. We have been with this system since December 9th is when we shut off the old system. So we're 6 months in, and it's going really, really well. We get new users, both individuals and businesses, every single day. So I want to show you while I'm here in production, if that document had been reported that there was a problem with it, I'll show you what that looks like in our system. It comes to the admins. It's here under search management. So these are the individual registrations that I have to approve. And here's the doc issue management. So these are the people that have sent us information. And looks like we have an old one. Oh, I know what that is. Okay. One from yesterday, one from today. The PDF link is to a Cornerstone document. So we'll figure that out. I always send them to the recorders and say, hey, this was reported by an ILR user. And can you please take a look and send an updated index? Let me know if you have questions. So it's not like they're shooting us an email or calling us and saying, hey, I found this problem in, pick a county. What they're just doing is saying, I was looking at this, I found this, and can you work with us to get that corrected? So I took up a lot of your time and I talked a lot. Last call for questions. What have you got? You all know how to get a hold of us if you have questions. If you want a special email for your team, your business partners, your town, let us know. Our office is in Johnston. If you're in town, pop over and say hi. We'd love to see you. And thanks for joining us. I'm thrilled that so many recorders joined today. I hope you learned a lot, and thanks for spending time with us today. Everybody have a good afternoon, and take care. See you soon. Bye-bye.